Hello, hello, hello. Folks, we made it. Here we are. On another fine... Where should we put the music? You guys need to help me out here. I'm thinking about here. Let me know. Doing good, thanks. Did not have surgery. Mila? Supposedly meant to have a little minor one in November, which I'm leaning towards not getting, to be honest. I'm all surgeried out, and it's really not mission critical, if you know what I mean. Yeah, let me know if we're good here with the sound, etc. But yeah, doing good. Okay, let's just see. I would like you to make a series of mini tutorials on how to draw and give volume to individual parts of the body. One for arms, another for legs, another for chest. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, Jose, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, that's right, Mila. It was this for a hernia, and it's meant to be mid-November. And as I said, I'm really just feeling like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Can't hear any music, but you're loud and clear. Well, I'm glad I'm loud and clear. At great expense to my time over the last week, let me tell you. Here, I'm going to turn the music up just a little bit. But once again, let me know if it gets too loud or not loud enough. Yeah, look, let's see how the sound goes. There was a disproportionate amount of R&D that happened over the last week to try and firstly figure out what exactly the hell was going wrong and to try and fix it and bring something clearer. You will notice I'm wearing an earphone in this ear. That is one thing that I think was an issue before, was I always used to have the music coming through the speakers in my room. Now we have everything working a little bit more professionally. Okay. I'm sitting, so I think that the rants are going to be safe. I can rant away. I don't think we'll hurt ourselves. Okay. Okay, just as I said, yeah, let me know, just with the technical, because we've got you can't see it, but there's a whole lot of new things happening now. Let me know. How do you feel about sharing your great art with us? You look like a very capable person. Jose, I honestly don't know what more I could be sharing. My stuff's on social media. I'm here. You can buy prints. You can buy originals. Jose, what more do you want from me? Doing all I can, my friend. There was a troubleshoot marathon. Yes. Okay. We've drawn this guy before. A few times, and we've drawn a few of these poses before, and I apologize for that. I think it's been long enough that I think that they will feel fresh. This guy has just a very, I was going to say unique kind of anatomy in that, but he doesn't really. He's just not a buff, muscular dude, which tends to be the, you know, the usual fare. Nude self-portraits. I have my limits, Rick. That is something that I will not impose on anyone. No, you're very welcome. Margot, here's the thing, guys. On Saturday, I did something that I haven't done in forever, which is I went back and watched some of my streams, just bits and pieces, right? And I wanted to see where the trouble was, the crackling on that. And the sound was so diabolical on the last stream that it was embarrassing, frankly, because I do take some pride in this stream, you know. So it was a case of, okay, look, we've got to fix this. Still actually working with the the previous mic, but it's going through a whole different way. So let's see. Hopefully it works. If for some reason it craps out on me, I've got a backup plan, I think. Where's my backup plan? Oh, my backup plan's out of reach. All right, let's live dangerously. Okay, enough chatter. Let's draw. I also switched my cameras around a little. I'll be curious if you get any sense of whether the quality's better with a new camera up here. Okay, so we're going to do probably 15 to 20, the usual, right? I haven't drawn in a few days, been busy doing technical, so I can need a good warm up here. All right, let's set the clock. Let's get going. Okay. Let's find the rib cage. Once again, I'm probably not going to draw much below the knee. I need to look into, you know, I've been waiting, probably naively, I've been waiting for Grafit Studio or one of these reference houses to produce the kind of reference that I want to draw more of. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot that they produce that I enjoy drawing, but, you know, we've talked before about drawing people that are not necessarily super athletes. And I did come to the conclusion today that, you know, maybe this is just something I'm going to have to do myself, which I still need to figure out the logistics for. But I want to draw normal people. I want to draw people with scars and with wrinkles and with blemishes and, you know, like people that have lived. And so, and I'm just, you know, every time I get a notification email from Grafit Studio every time they release a new reference pack. And I always, with a certain sense of anticipation, I click on the link to see, and then, you know, I see this beautiful, chiseled, athletic model, striking poses which I feel we've already drawn 1,000 times before. And I have to remedy this. So that's really kind of where I'm at. And I don't know why I'm even sharing this. I should just do it and provide the results of this particular endeavor. But yes, I want to draw people that have some scars, if you know what I mean. Normal people. So anyway, I'm going to probably have to make that happen. And as I said, it's a bit daunting. But then I was thinking I could probably just make those reference packs available to people a la Grafit Studio, the way they do. So anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway. Guillaume. Hey, you're a member now. Good man. Hey Richard, as a student, do you think it is better to draw every day? Sometimes I feel so tired. Yeah, the short the short version of the answer to that is yes. I don't think every practice session needs to be a marathon. That you're going to have good days, you're going to have less energetic days. But I think if you're serious about developing and improving, I think you want to get into the habit of thinking like a professional. And as a professional, I would say, generally speaking, you can't wait for the muse to grab you. You have to get up or get down, sit down and draw. As a professional artist, I've spent my entire career sitting down and drawing, whether I felt like it or not, because I was getting paid to. So yeah, I think that, you know, it kind of depends. Are you serious about this, or is it just a hobby that you want to do when you feel like all the conditions are perfect? Nothing wrong with that either. Okay? This is not a place of judgment. But if you want to think like a professional, then yeah, that's what you need to do. I tend to share Grafit's preferences. Lulu, I get that. I do. Look, they provide a superb service, right? Great quality work, blah, blah, blah. But I think we're missing a massive opportunity to maybe learn something about ourselves when we change up our subject matter. That stuff's never going away. You're always going to have super easy access to that type of reference. There's a place for it. There's a place for drawing people that are maybe a little more vulnerable. I did an online live session with an excellent model last week. I will look up and share her information in the Discord. Sure. Great. Thanks, Jeffrey. Yeah, look, honestly, guys, it kind of just comes down to the financials, right? I have no shortage of models that I have worked with, which I'm sure I could get to model for me, but they need to be compensated, obviously, and that's where it gets tricky. I'm just simply not in a position to do. It's one thing to pay a single model one time, but we need at least 4 models a month, right? Deltoid is coming up this way. Anyway, look, this was not my intention to impose my issues onto the stream. Just really, as I said, I'm kind of thinking out loud. But yeah, by all means share. It certainly can't hurt. Rich, what about GoFundMe? Yeah, it's an option. It is an option. The only thing that kind of feels that how that doesn't sit quite right with me is purely because people are already paying to be members of the channel, right? It's not really for the community to have to then double down. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. It's all good. We'll figure it out. Hey, can you just tell me, like, and not necessarily that we need to change anything, but can you guys actually hear the music? I'm just curious, if nothing else. If you could let me know, appreciate it. No, not at all, Mila. It's fine. Well, I do have a PayPal link in the description down below. You know what? Another thing I'm thinking of providing on my website is a way to be a member through the website and not necessarily through having to go through YouTube, because they do like to take their cut. So yeah, that's something I'm looking at. So he's holding the stick, kind of coming down this way, which tells me that this leg is too long because the knee is probably about there in actual fact. And I have drawn too big, but this was kind of where I wanted to focus, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right. Music is just slightly irritable. Don't need the music. Margie, I appreciate you have quite a strong feeling on this music thing. But I need the music. That's really kind of what it comes down to. I'm not, I'm not, I don't enjoy just sitting and drawing in complete silence, especially when I'm having a one-way conversation, verbally at least. Michael asks, do you only do measurements with your eyes? Well, you could look at it like that. I guess, yeah, I would put it this way. I don't do any of this monkey business with holding the pencil up and all that size nonsense now. So yeah, I guess you could say I only use my eyes. But there's a number of different kind of ways I'm thinking about measurement as I use my eyes, if that makes sense. Well, thank you, Margie. I appreciate that. Do you need music to get in the zone? Here's the thing. My thoughts on music, and this is, once again, this is a very, very personal preference because everyone is obviously different. I like instrumental music. I don't like music with vocals. I find that way too distracting. I find sometimes music's very good, especially depending on the music. It can help provide atmosphere and drama. It's one of the reasons why things like film scores are actually quite good to draw to. They can get you in a mood, if you know what I mean. And something with a pulse can just help keep your energy going and keep things rhythmically moving in the right direction. You know, it's not that it's not. And once again, as I said, I think that, you know, something that maybe is I would kind of hope is taken for granted, but is, you know, I am sitting here in a room on my own, obviously, but I have a chat with potentially dozens of people chiming in, but I'm the only one that's verbally talking. And there's something about having just a little beat in the background, even really quietly, that makes it feel a little bit more communal, if that makes sense. Something like that. Maybe I'm not explaining that too well, but so yeah, that's kind of my thinking. But I do think music can very much help bring energy and drama to the process. That's why I'm sometimes quite happy for it to just be the same playlist over and over and over again, because it's not really about what's playing. It's more just about a case of something is playing, right? Believe it or not, Rick, I hear you loud and clear, but you're the only one. My tinnitus, or people here call it tinnitus. In the States it's called tinnitus. In the UK it's called tinnitus, and I can't get behind calling it tinnitus. Lulu says, my tinnitus goes nuclear if I'm in complete silence. Mine too. That is, you make a very good point. I have had tinnitus for years. It has got progressively worse as I've got older, and music definitely, you know, even quiet music helps kind of EQ the tinnitus, if that makes sense. Well, if I can inspire you to talk to yourself in your own room there, Lulu, then my work here is done. We have some compression here. You know, it's funny because this guy's got, we'll say he's got, for want of a better term, maybe this is a bit of a crude way to put it, but he's got quite a bit of loose skin, but he's also quite lean, which is a really interesting kind of, you know, situation. Margie, not to be mistaken with Margot. Margie says, I'm having trouble with this one. Margie, it doesn't appear, at least from what I can tell from the way names are highlighted on the chat, doesn't appear that you're a member. So my guess, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but my guess is that you're copying me, because you're obviously not working from the reference. That is going to look, it's not that you can't do it, but it's going to be a detriment. Especially in the long term. So, at the risk of sounding like I'm just trying to hawk myself here, I would suggest consider becoming a member. I think it's like $3 a month or something, and you'll have access to the reference to every single stream. And I think it's pretty worthwhile, I would imagine. I call it the UK pronunciation, tinnitus, huh? Yeah, tinnitus. No, I call it the same, and so does my ear, nose, throat doctor. You call it tinnitus, or tinnitus. Oh, that's interesting. Well, maybe it's just me. Okay, I need other Americans to chime in here. Tinnitus or tinnitus? Let me know. Tin or tie? Tinnitus or tin? Oh no, they're both tin, aren't they? Tinnitus, tinnitus. So that's hard for you to tell me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, I'd be curious. I'm thinking maybe it's just me. I always assumed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something it's a word I've only ever read, and I assumed it was tinnitus when it's actually tinnitus for everyone. That does happen, right? I call it the first way. What, tinnitus or tinnitus? I'm going to be a member. Okay, Margie. I think you'll appreciate that. I think it'll work good for you. Hello, Penny. Sorry, Penny just burst her way in. She just got back from a walk. She's soaked, so she clearly was in the river. Mila says it's tinnitus in France. Interesting. Anyway, one thing we can all agree on is it's a pain. It's also something that's very tin-like thin as well. Whitney Studios, US medical background, tinnitus. That's the American way, huh? So tinnitus is potentially European or UK. Tinnitus. So I was right. Okay, thank you, Whitney Studios. Appreciate it. Good to know. Okay, so I wasn't wrong on that. Interesting. I just assumed it was kind of like the difference between aluminium and aluminum, which I have to say I tend to go with aluminum, even though aluminium is probably correct. Aluminum is like it's just easier to say. All right, we're getting there. Although we've gone 23 minutes already, I really need to get to some light and tone. Start to tie a bow around this one. Although I have enjoyed drawing it. All right, let's let's see. Let's get into some coloring in here. Yeah, aluminum's better, right? Just is. I said that in front of some English people recently, and they were horrified. Basically told me I was wrong. And yeah, I get it. It is technically probably wrong, but aluminum is just better. Anyway, all right, let's find some core shadows, and let's do it with a pencil that's up for the task. His right armpit's absolutely cavernous. Isn't it awesome? Yeah. Yeah, this whole area is just brilliant. All right, let's find core shadow. So we've got to find the core shadow for the pectoral, and that's coming down this way, something like this. Now the trick with a pose like this, and especially a model like this, is we need to simplify. We got so much like secondary detail with his ribs and everything going on that it's one of those classic situations where we could get so easily wrapped up in the minutiae that you can end up with a lot of noise, right? So we're going to look for opportunities to try and at least simplify here and there. Just get some basic core shadows down here. All right. Tina, Has to run. Miss the music, love the model diversity. You see, just everyone's got a different thing. Take care, Tina. Yeah, see ya. Good luck. See you next time. All right. So we've got this little section in here where I think that where the armpit really is, where we can probably go a little bit darker to help describe that form. We get a little bit darker in here too. Alright, we're probably in a pretty good place to call it for this one, huh? And we've been going 30 minutes. Got to say though, I did rather enjoy that. Alright. Yeah. Is it the greatest drawing in the world? No, but I enjoyed the process. It's kind of what matters. All right, let's have a look at the next pose. All right, lovely. Lovely seated. Lovely seated pose. Let's give this one a go. I see, Rick, that you're unapologetically rocking Inktober on Instagram. I see it. I see what's happening. Okay. Right, enjoy it. A great model. I agree. I want more of this type of thing. You know, like for every model that we draw that's young and athletic, to balance it with something like this, I think will be a really great thing. All right, let me reset the clock and let's start the next pose, because what are we waiting for? All right. Jim says, I have to say, watching you draw, I'll see you make a line and think, oh, that's not right. Then just like Bob Ross, you prove me wrong every time. Well, thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Look, they're not always in the right spot. But, you know, hopefully for the most part. Let's find our center line. Once again, coming down. Gosh, that's such beautiful shape language with this guy. This is what I'm going to call a lazy arch of the rib cage, because I don't think it really represents the arch of the rib cage. It kind of does, but it's as much representing the mass of the stomach and the kind of overall volume of things kind of going on in this direction, in this region here. So yeah, it's a lazy rib cage, but I think it'll serve its purpose. Potentially more so than anatomically where the rib cage actually is. Hard to explain what I'm talking about, but hopefully it'll make sense when I'm done. So, if you look at where his navel is, his knee is pretty much sitting, you know, we talked about measurement. Someone was asking me about measurement earlier. Do I just use my eyes? Yeah, but this is very typical of the kind of measurement I'm doing. I'm looking at where his navel is, and I'm like, yeah, top of the knee, sitting right about here. Right, and then the tibia coming down this way. We can see this leg. You can really get a sense of how kind of box-like this leg is here. We can see like the underside of the leg kind of doing this, right, and then coming up the side here like that. Roughly in there. We'll refine that. Let's ballpark it. And then the other knee is kind of sitting about here. And where is it in relationship to the center line? So you could almost kind of find it right about here. Right, and this leg is very foreshortened, kind of coming towards us like this, and then going back away from us in this direction. Something like that. That'll do for now, because we want to, you know, get the bits and pieces roughly in the right spot. Okay, so we've got a lazy rib cage. Got pectoral sitting here and then going up this way. Humerus is about here. Clavicle is going up. Manubrium is about here. Clavicle going up, head of the humerus, then we're coming down. Where is the elbow in relationship to this knee? Now, I'm actually looking at this, I think I'm wrong. I think the height is right, but it's closer into the form. Because if I look at the edge of his form sitting here, it's actually about here. And you know what told me that? Really, where his elbow is in relationship to the knee. And the elbow is roughly about here, which kind of does make sense. Can't see the forearm essentially, and then the hand sitting here, coming down. Sitting about here. Fingers coming down this way. something like that. Then we've got that gap between the finger and the edge of the leg here. So that really does kind of tell us roughly, okay, well now we're kind of in the ballpark. Once again, it's just a rough pass. Something like that. He's leaning on a box which is kind of coming down this way, sitting behind him, sitting in somewhere like that. And then this arm is on a box that's behind him, which he's leaning against, which is kind of coming out this way, coming down this way, right? And so we've got clavicle going back this way, head of the humerus, this arm going away, pectoral coming out this way, heavily foreshortened forearm, or upper arm, sorry, and then into his forearm, which is sitting on the box there, and then this hand coming down roughly about here, something like that. Good enough. Okay. Assuming that we're roughly in the right place with all of this stuff, the chin is sitting down about here. Right, manubrium here, sternocleidomastoid coming up this way. Ear is sitting about here. All right. Once again, get us in the ballpark. I never thought I'd enjoy so much drawing this model. Usually I draw women for the most part. Ah, you see, Graham. Yep, telling you. Nice, Rick. Solid. I respect that. Any opportunity for, you know, subtle jab. Good, good stuff. His foot is about 1.5 times the length of his head. Yes, we have got some serious. Well, I think we've got a little bit of lens distortion. Plus, we've just got the nature of, you know, things moving back in space. Okay, where are we at here? So I think we're getting there. Yeah, pectoral coming out this way. And even his hair shape is so cool. Like, got this tuft of hair sitting here. Okay. Let's keep going. So we got the oblique sitting about here. And we got rib cage coming around to kind of a bit of a saggy latissimus sitting in there. Ishan looks like he's being tortured. Well, then I'm not doing a great job. Not being able to see the references making this drawing very interesting. I hope interesting in a good way. Hopefully it'll come together. I'm holding out hope here. You see, that's my hook. You'll just have to stick around and see. Do me a favor, guys, would you? If you haven't already, especially if you're planning on splitting before the end, which I wouldn't be surprised if most of you are, or some of you are, do me a favor, would you? If you wouldn't mind, hitting the like button would be fantastic. Thank you. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so oblique is there. I think we're okay. We're okay. We're getting there. Which does tell me that this could be a bit higher. He is wearing these trunks, which I really do need to kind of suggest because they just take up quite a bit of volume. Not really trunks, is it? It's like a, what do you call it, G-string, something like that. Coming across, got something going like that. Okay. You can just see the oblique sitting here. To just come across here. So oblique is sitting about here. Then we're coming down to the hamstring here, and then coming over to the knee, the intersection with the knee there. Then we have a little bit loose skin before we come in. We meet up with the rib cage coming in here, then meeting up with the pectoral, and then the pectoral is kind of doing this. Something like that. Deltoid. Sitting about here. Coming down, meeting up with the trapezius. Wrist, and then, yeah. Thumb, etc. And this box is kind of coming down this way. So about here, coming down this way. So he's resting his arm on it there. Okay, it's quite the technical exercise, you know, this, but it's good. It's, you know, he has so much interesting design language that, you know, there's a lot of value to be had. Got some wrinkles sitting here. Want to be careful we don't overcook those. You can never go wrong with a man bun. I'm struggling with his right leg because I see how far back that foot is from the left. Yeah, conveniently I'm drawing off the bottom of the page, so I'm not going to have to even deal with his feet. Pro tip, Margot. And then he's sitting on a box here. The edge of the box is coming down this way. And that's kind of going across here. So we got the mass of the knee there, very box-like, where the femur and the tibia meet, obviously. We got the kneecap, the patella, that's sitting in about here. And then you have the connective tissue coming down this way, right? So we're not going to get into it, but we want to kind of suggest that there is a joint there. We don't want to just, you know, abandon the idea. Okay. Yeah, so we've got this really lovely turn of the form sitting here. So we got the side of the leg, and then we get the underside of the leg. I'll just very lightly shade this in for right now, just to kind of give a sense of what that mass looks like. Alright, so we've got the hamstring coming in here. We've got the mass of the quadriceps sitting in here. Once again, another knee joint there. Here's our turn. And this going away from us here. I think it's really going to be a case of, so we've got a tricky thing here, guys, which is the light is almost directly kind of coming from what would be essentially almost kind of like above our heads, if that makes sense, as the viewer, or somewhere between, you know, the camera and our subject. So the point is, we have very little light and tone, especially kind of on his torso, which is going to make describing form really difficult. So I'm actually going to opt to put some light and tone in. I'm going to potentially change the light direction just ever so slightly so that we have tone that we can work with, that we can model form, if that makes sense. It's really just about kind of deciding from which side what makes the most sense. Well, I guess if you had to look at what's already inherently kind of in the shot, maybe it's the light is ever so slightly favoring from this side. So I think I'm going to lean into that, and I'm going to model with that in mind. And light with that in mind, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's do that. I think it'll be the easiest kind of path. So I'm going to give a core shadow kind of coming down. So I'm going to pull the light down to about here. That's the idea. Let's see how it goes. I'll just give us the opportunity to model. Because, you know, we've got this kind of big open expanse here, and we need something to help, you know. I'm also kind of cheating a little bit because I'm doing what I've discussed before, which is I like to create this kind of graphic motif where the form is turning here, and we'll put this into shade a little bit, if that makes sense. Even though that's not really what we're seeing on the model. It's going to help hopefully describe form. Okay, so we've got a turn of form here. Probably about here we can go down. That will be in shadow. And we're going to have a bit of a cast shadow coming off his face. I think we can probably do something like that. That should, theoretically, that should work. Let's see. Also, we can't really see the clavicle here, right? But I'm going to just punch little things like that, because once again, we've got to do whatever we can to try and model form. A little bit of cheating here and there. Hi again, Richard from Mexico. Irma, I was thinking about you the other day. I never got in touch about the coming over to your fair country and doing a thing. I hope you're well, Irma, and I haven't forgotten, honestly. I'm not going to make any promises. You know, but like, yeah, I was literally just thinking about you the other day. Yeah. Hope all's good in Mexico. And thank you for the kind words about the drawing. Appreciate it. All right, so with all of that said, we're going to do just a similar type of thing here. Just very loosely. Obviously we haven't really drawn through these ideas, so, you know, we're cheating. I'm not going to get into all the little details, but all right, I think we're getting we're getting close to, we'll call it with this one, because it's not a great drawing, but it's been, once again, it's been fun. Is his left foot turned or straight forward? Hard to tell. Well, they're both kind of pointing forwards. I haven't really drawn the foot there. I really probably should, shouldn't I? Just, okay, I'll draw it. I can't just, you know, there's only so much faking you can do. So let's see. Come down, ankle. Sitting about here. Heel. Then these toes are sitting in there. Gee, this is all really getting sucked in with light. Hard to see what's going on here. And really kind of weird perspective on these toes. We got a bit of a cast shadow there, and then we got this going into tone, and then this. It's all super dark. Because he's sitting on this black box, and something like that going on. And then this foot is, well, you can't even see what I'm drawing there, but this foot's kind of coming down in this direction. Where are we at? 36 minutes again. Yikes. I think we'll call it few highlights. I was thinking of doing a masterclass by Zoom. Yeah, what do you think? Of course, Irma, absolutely. You're more than welcome to. Goes without saying. Yeah, by all means. Email me, or if you go to the store on my website, you will see the masterclass stuff available there too. So by all means, get in touch. How often do you do figure drawings from imagination? I tend to really enjoy them the most. Emmy, yeah, I do too. I don't do them nearly as much as I should. I used to do them all the time, and it used to be my go-to kind of warm-up practice. It's been a while. But that's, yeah, there's no real reason why. But I think it's incredibly important part of not only your development with figure drawing, but just your development, your ongoing kind of, workout, so to speak. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. It's 6:20. We've been going very slow on these, and we have 3 poses to go. And we have, what, about 40 minutes, a little give or take. How do we want to do this? I really like the second to last and the last pose. I'm almost tempted to skip this middle pose. Let's just take a second here, because I'm going to need some feedback from you guys on this. Yeah, Irma, give us a shout. Do you guys want to do, like, if we're going to only do, let's say we do 2 more poses, right? We've got about 40 minutes. Unless we want to do like a 5-minute pose at the end and do 2 15s kind of thing. What do you guys want to focus on here? This middle pose, I'm not opposed to it, but of the last 3, it's the one that interests me the least, but I'm happy to do it. Let's skip the laying one, says Mila. Less poses, more time. Okay, Rick, we're in agreement. But which ones? We did this one so many times. How can we see them, by the way? Emmy, if you are a member of the channel, there should be a join button somewhere. It's like $3 a month, and then you get links to all the reference for every stream. It's one of the greatest deals on the internet, if I say so myself. Imagine if you could go to a figure drawing class for $3 a month for a minimum of 4 figure drawing classes. Like, where do you find that deal? You don't. Whitney Studios. Richard, FYI, I found a good quality paper, handles charcoal, similar to newsprint. Strathmore 400 series smooth surface archival. I've got a sneaking suspicion I have some behind me, but I may not, or maybe I haven't tried that yet. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Whitney. If I haven't tried it, I certainly will seek it out. That's good to know. I'm with Rick. I like the last two. Margot, okay, so I think that, you know what, let's do the last two then. And we will divide the time equally. No, not the stickers, Margie. There should be, like, well, it depends. Are you on mobile? If you're on mobile, you don't always get the join button. There should be something. Now, Margot will tell you. Do you see a button that says See Perks? I think you have to press that. Or there'll be a join button right next to my name, somewhere like that, below the video. Anyway, if you join, then... Yeah. Next to the subscribe button, there you go. Does not show up on phones and tablets, which is bizarre, isn't it? All right, let's draw. But you can always join on a desktop, right, or a laptop, and then you can access on your tablet or your phone or whatever after that you've joined, if that makes sense. Yeah, it is symbolic. You're right, it's a little too symbolic. All right, let's draw. I'll reset the clock. There we go. Marco loves bossing new members. Yeah, no, shit, that's... We just let Marco get on with it. Shh, Rick. Don't mention it. Okay. Now, I think it makes sense to start this drawing over to the left side a little. Now, we can't see his back because his arm's in the way, but I am obviously going to draw it as if I could see it. Doing something like that. I watch on iPad and chat on the phone. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. So once you signed up, Margie, you could look at the reference kind of on your phone or something, or on your iPad, and then you could watch on the phone, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's I wish there was a more elegant way to present this whole thing. Does sometimes feel a little bit unrefined, but it kind of works. Once you're doing it, it kind of all makes sense. But I do know for new members, it can sometimes take a minute to kind of figure it all out. But basically, the long and the short of it is that the reference is hosted on my website. Can't host the reference on YouTube. Partly because I just get taken down, which has already happened. So yeah, the reference is hosted on a page on my website, and you get a link to that. And then you can, you can draw along with the live stream and have the reference right in front of you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Something like that. And the good thing is we have people like Margot and Lulu who are very happy to help talk you through it in real time while I'm drawing. Not Rick though. Don't ever go to Rick for advice. Rick will just send you down some crazy path. Can't be trusted at all. But you'll get to know that too. Right, Rick? The beginning of the drawing is the most difficult part, says Gilliam. Yes, it is. In many respects, it is. Although, don't let it be. Don't let it intimidate you. You have to show it who's boss. I always maintain, and I bang on about this probably way too much, but gesture is both the first stage of the drawing, but it's also the last stage of development as an artist, in my opinion. Any advice I give must be first secured with a credit card number or vetted through Lulu, our fearless mod. Yeah. Ribcage sitting in here. Little bit undecided about the length of this leg. I think it's too long. I think I need to pull into about here. That makes more sense. So we have the box that he's sitting on here. By the way, guys, November 5th will be the 2-year anniversary of the stream. How about that? So I can't promise anything particularly special will happen on that day. But I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe something special should happen that day. Yeah, 2 years. It's kind of crazy. And some of you have been here since the beginning, which is also kind of crazy. In a good way. And we've lost a few valiant souls along the way. But, you know. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something special for the 2-year. What would we do though? I just don't know. This is why my wife would never trust me with organising things like kids' birthday parties, because if it's left to me, it'll be a dire occasion. So we have the other leg, which is coming up this way. Actually, this leg is lower. Okay. It is election day, so something will happen for sure. No kidding, Jim, that's right, it is. And it's also the day I'm technically meant to be having my surgery. But we have to do a stream that day. Will anyone show up if it's election day? It would give you guys an opportunity to pull away from the TV for 5 minutes. The most stressful day on the calendar. Okay, we're going to have to think about that. Unless we did it on a different day. What are the chances, huh? Sorry, I'm pulling up a calendar. I just want to have a quick look at something. Such a professional stream, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm meant to be having my surgery on the 5th. Oh no, the 5th is a Tuesday. But the stream is Thursday, which is the 7th. So the 2-year anniversary is the 5th. But we won't. We'll push it. We'll either do one on the Monday or the Thursday, or maybe both, but we won't do one on the 5th on election night. So there you go. You won't have to make a choice between watching the election and coming to the figure drawing stream. I don't think I would win that particular challenge. Getting rather nervous. I sent in for my ballot about a month ago. My overseas ballot, and I still haven't received it. So yeah, it's not good. So we've got some lovely shape language going on here with this arm. Hopefully we can You just did the best profile you've ever done. Awesome. Don't stop though, Rick. Don't get married to the best profile you ever did. Just keep moving. Let's draw some of your favorite characters. Well, you know what might actually be nice is to do like a rather than just drawing one model, to do like a little kind of collection of some of the better models that we've drawn, or even some poses that we've drawn before that just, you know, best ofs, so to speak. That could be kind of fun. Let's see, I'll think of something, but I do like the idea of, don't want to draw character, like I want to do figure if we're going to do it. Anyway, it'll be probably on the Thursday, will be my guess. Because I'm thinking I probably should go ahead with this surgery, even though I really don't want to. Yeah, well, so you're already taking the full day off, the full day, so it would work out great for me. An oil painting stream, especially if you're still new to it, it would make for a fun dumpster fire. I like the opium party idea. I just don't have, I'm all out of opium. Although I say that, I've still got so many painkillers left over from my surgery and from my treatment. I probably actually could make it an opium party. But I don't think that would necessarily be very entertaining. Other than watching me drool into my drink. Brachioradialis coming down into the forearm. Want to be that old guy walking around with a giant lump in his pants, get the surgery. If I'm a nurse, I strongly advise you do it. I know, you guys are right. I've just got surgery fatigue. And also, you know, it's not a terribly bad hernia. Like, yeah, would it be nice to have it done? Sure. Can I live without it? Probably. I probably will end up going down. I'm just so done. I'm so done with going into hospital and they'll make me stay over and it's a whole thing, you know. But it would be, what day did we say? What day is the election's on the Tuesday, so the surgery would be on the Monday. It might not be bad to be all painkillered up for the 5th. Take the edge off. Yeah, well, I had the surgery about 5 years ago, but when they did my surgery for the last year, they kind of cut through everything that had been done. So it needs to be kind of redone. Anyway, maybe that's TMI, I don't know. I'm going to drink wine and watch Netflix and see what happens on the 6th. Wow, Margot, that's a bold move. Oh, thanks for scaring me, Mila. Hey, Chris. All right. Let's keep going here. Sorry, I'm getting carried away reading and need to do my job here. Alright, so I'm gonna just hold off on so there's the edge of the box, which is relevant because of the way that there's compression with the buttocks, obviously very kind of flat along here, and then the hamstring beautifully drops down and does this type of thing. But I just want to make sure that the length of my legs is right first. Okay. Yeah, I'm all for killing a few brain cells. It sounds fine to me. Thanks, Mila. Appreciate it. Yeah. Let's see what happens. We only have what, like 2-3 weeks till that all goes down. That's crazy, isn't it? Heel coming down to here. Nice, Irma. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll get back to you. What are you going to do with all these drawings? Are you going to make an exhibition? Most of them will end up in the fire, Michael. A few will be sold on my website. A few will be kept. And that's pretty much it. There will most likely be no exhibition unless someone wants to make that happen. Certainly not something I'm going to do anytime soon. And believe it or not, well, you probably will believe it, but people don't really value drawings. Paintings people will go to an exhibition of. Drawings, not so much. Now, if a gallery reached out to me and said, look, we want to do an exhibition of your drawings, just, give them to us and we'll do it, then there would be an exhibition of my drawings. But it would take something like that to happen. And that's not going to happen. Let's be realistic. All right. Let's do some colouring in. Let's find some core shadows. All right, I think we're getting close. Oh, look at that, time-wise. Okay, well, look, we'll be going over a couple of minutes, but we need to wrap this one up because we've got that last pose to do. But I think we're getting close with this one, as it turns out. So. It's just, just tie a bow around this. have neglected to draw in the big stick that this guy has got between these two arms, which is relevant. I just get blind to these things sometimes. Something like that, right? Okay. Well, this one turned out to be a bit of a mess. The stick isn't part of a figure drawing, so you kind of didn't process it. Well, you know, this brings up an interesting question of when to draw the stick, because sometimes the stick is there to enable the model to hold a pose, you know, still for a few minutes or whatever. And sometimes the stick is a very deliberate prop that's part of the scene. And I actually remember, no, I'm not going to get into it, but I think that there's not necessarily a right or a wrong answer with that. But I think sometimes it helps give context of why a model might be holding their arms in such a way, or, you know. All right. The drawing I bought from you was that from a live stream, do you remember? If so, I'd love to know which one. Rick, I'll find out and I'll let you know. I think it possibly was. Possibly. If it was, I'll let you know which live stream. For sure. Okay. This is just, we're polishing the proverbial pig's ear at this point. All right, let's move on. They need a box to sit on, so what's the difference? No, it's very well. There is a difference actually, Margie. You see, now we've got two Margies, Margie. So, for example, the box, let's say it's a sitting pose, right? Model sitting on a box. It's clear that they're sitting, right? And there's no ambiguity about the fact that they're sitting. But you might have a stick and you're holding a stick like this, and it's clear that the stick is a prop. But in another case, you might have a case where someone's pointing out like this, and they've got the stick holding up their arm to keep their arm straight, right? Let's say it's a 10-minute pose. They want to keep their hand in the right spot. You don't necessarily want to draw the stick in that case, right? So I think that you could argue that there is a difference. But when to draw the stick and when not to is kind of the debate. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But there is technically probably a difference. Okay. No, you're good. Margot, you're correct to put the stick in early to help with line placement, and it also is another form of measurement, right? yes, the stick can inform, the box can inform the compression, and the stick can inform the hand shapes. Exactly, it's very true. All good points. Looks like he's waiting his turn to play pool. Pretty much, yeah. That pretty much hits the nail on the head. Okay, we've got one more pose, guys. So look, let's, just in the interest of not boring everyone to death, let's plan on a 10-minute pose, okay? Let's get cracking. All right, clock's going. You guys start drawing. I'm gonna have a sip of tea. All right, let's find this next pose. So with this pose, I would say that there would be a strong argument for the fact that the stick is playing a part in the pose. Scapula. Occipital ridge. Ear. So this stick is going down this way. It's in here, and then we've got his left hand, which is attached there, which is pulling this business over in that, if that makes sense. So it will help describe the form. The stick will ironically help describe the form on this side of the body. Loving this pencil. Yep, that is broke. Okay, you guys are having far too much fun without me. Okay, let's see now. So yeah, we've got this arm coming across. Something like that. To come across the form. Oblique. Coming up. Bit of compression. And then ribcage. That scapula, the edge of the scapula is actually sitting, so it's causing this tension right there. So trapezius coming up this way. Waited in line for 3 hours for early voting. That's really inexcusable. Sorry, just reading. Just reading. So we're at 9:50 already, and I'm not nearly done. I'm just going to keep going for a few more minutes. Not that I'm particularly inspired by this drawing, but you know, what else would I be doing with my day? A lot of discussion about drinking and drawing. A lot of figure drawings, you know, they do this drink and draw thing, right? Or they have like everyone goes to the pub afterwards and has a drink. Why not? Bit of fun. So we can actually see very, very faintly, we can see the shadow of that trapezius just sitting in there. That ridge of the scapula there. State dependent memory. Okay, this is getting too deep for me. All right. I think we're getting close, guys and gals. We are getting close. Not exactly finishing with our finest, or at least in my case, finest work, but you know, I get to that point where I just reach kind of a saturation point. I just can't make good decisions. Where did that rubber band come from? How weird. Hello, Penny. How you doing? I'm coming. I'll be with you now. She's hilarious. She she'll just kind of come check in. I swear she's doing like head count. She's just kind of making sure everyone's still around. All right, bit of a mess, but I think it's gonna have to do. I'm shattered. Cool. All right. Yeah. Let's change camera angle real quick. Get off that like it never happened. There we go. Guys, decent session. Look, love this model. Love drawing him. I only wish I had a lot more poses of him or models like him. Let's see. Let's give that some thought. So we will be back next week. Definitely Thursday. Let's see. Maybe earlier in the week too, but I'm not going to make any promises just yet. So keep an eye out maybe on Monday for notifications to see if something's going to happen on Monday. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I think that's one for the fire. Guys, you can sense the weekend in the air. And so whatever you may be up to this weekend, have a fantastic weekend. Have a great time. Look after yourselves. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Hit the like button, will you? Appreciate it. And I will see you all next week at some point. But yeah, for those of you watching after the fact, if you've got any questions, any comments, you know the drill. Leave them in there down below. Actually, I think it might even help the video. Guys, this was a good one. It's a hell of a workout. I just lost energy at the end there. I will see you all next week. So in the meantime, look after yourselves. All right, take care. See you then. Cheers.